Hi, Eliza Fayle here of Silver and Grace, and welcome to another episode of Ask Eliza. In today's video, I'm going to walk you step by step through the process I use to do my personal power tarot readings. This means that it's going to be a much longer video than normal for Ask Eliza's, but I think it's important for you to understand the entire process so that you know what you're getting. I mean, it's very easy for my jewelry. Just simply go to my website or my Facebook page and you can see what you're getting. But for a written online tarot reading, what does that look like? Well, I'm going to walk you through the whole process. So first of all, just to answer the question why I do my tarot readings in writing, well, there's several reasons for that. First of all, it means that I can reach a global audience, right? So I'm not tied into time frames, time zones, right? So I can do a reading in Australia, even though I'm in Canada, so that when they're sleeping, I'm wide awake. The other reason is that I'm not blocked into a time frame for doing the readings. For example, if you go to a tarot reader, you're going to pay for a certain amount of time, or if you do it on the phone, you're going to pay for a certain amount of time, be it 30 minutes, an hour, whatever. This way, once the information starts to flow, I don't have this little timer going tick, 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 tick. I just keep typing until the information is all out there. In general, for my 10 card readings, that's about an hour, but it can be an hour and a half depending on how much information is flowing. But I don't have to stop the flow. The third reason is that I come from a family of writers, and writing is how I am best at expressing myself, and my guides therefore use my skill to the advantage of providing information. So they type through me, and I'll explain that in a minute. Okay, so what happens? Well, first thing is you say to me, Eliza, I would like a reading, please. And you're going to tell me whether it's a 3-card reading, which is good for just, getting some quick hit information or busting through a very specific block. Or you say, Eliza, I'd like a 10-card reading, which covers 10 aspects of your life and is a very in-depth reading. And then I'll say back to you, fantastic. So what I would like, please, is a brain dump. And I tell people to start off with in an email to me, Dear Eliza, this is what's going on in my life. And then just type, type, type without thinking, without censoring, without worrying about typos, without worrying about grammar, and just type, type, type until there's nothing left to say. So why do I do that? Quite often when you go for a tarot reading, be it just like in person, sitting across from someone, or on the phone, there isn't much interaction between the two of you. You might state, well, this is the problem, or this is what I'd like to learn. And then the reader talks for half an hour, whatever you have them booked for. To me, this is fantastic if that's the style of the reader, but I prefer a much more interactive process. I want you to invest in your own personal power. And the way to do that is to go deep inside through a stream of consciousness and just let it all come out, right, onto the page. And just by that very act, you have already invested in developing or freeing up your own personal power. Okay, so once I get that brain dump, and it's quite funny because quite often women say to me, oh, Eliza, I don't know that I'll have much to say. And then I get pages and pages of writing. But so don't worry. Once you start typing, it will come out. Okay, so once I get the writing, then I email you an invoice, which is payable through PayPal. And on PayPal, you don't have to have a PayPal account. You can pay with your credit card, or you can pay with a bank card. Now, using a bank card does mean it takes about 5 business days to process. So once the payment's received, then I schedule your reading, and I have time slots throughout the week that I set aside for doing my readings here in my studio. Oh, by the way, that oil painting behind me is me at age 3. Okay, so I sit down in my studio, and I have a template, email, a Word document that I put your brain dump in, so you can refer back to what you say. And then I then that's where I'm going to do the reading, is in this Word document. So in the end, you'll get it in PDF format, which means you can open it on any computer. And yeah, so generally for 10 card reading, you end up with about 8 or 10 pages of writing. Okay, so I've got the Word document set up, I've got your brain dump in there, and the next thing I do is I take my tarot cards. Okay, so tarot cards, I use the Rider-Waite deck, and what I do is I invite a guide to select the cards for me. Now, her name is Susie. That's what she told me. And it seems to be her sole purpose in working with me is to select the cards, and she's really good at it. She picks very awesome cards. So what happens is I invite Susie in, and then I go like this, and then when Susie wants a card, she taps my thumb on the card like that. And she works really, really fast. So I'm trying to keep count of the cards as she's selecting them. But sometimes I have to ask her to slow down. It's like, whoa, Susie, I don't know what number we're at. Let's do a check. Okay. So we've got the, Susie has picked, let's say we're doing the 10 card reading. She's picked the 10 cards for me. All right. And I put them out on the desk in front of me. And then what I do is I invite in my main guide, Abdob, to join in the reading. Now, he doesn't always participate in the reading, but he's the one I go to, and then he decides if he's going to do the reading with me or if he's going to invite in other guides. So far, the guides that have shown up in my readings are Abdob. Then there are the Sora sisters. There's 3 of them, and they're a lot of fun, really funny. And they tend to show up if someone has a business-related questions, and the Sora sisters can come up with some really amazing business ideas that have really resonated with my clients. If we need to, or Abdob decides we need to call in what I call the big guns, where there's really deep, compassionate, and universal love required, then he brings in the light emissaries. I have no idea how many of them there are. They're more like a tribe, but they do readings that are more about deep, universal love when that needs to come out in a reading. Okay, so my guides have come in, and then what I do is I flip over the first card. Let's just say it's this one, okay? So I flip over the first card, and then I put my hands on the keyboard of my laptop, and then I close my eyes, and I channel what the guides, let's just say it's Abdob in this case. So I channel what Abdob has to say, and I type. And yes, there are a lot of typos. My guides don't type. They channel information. So I type until my guide, Abdob in this case, has nothing left to say. I do have to go back and correct all the typos, but that's actually a good thing, me having to read it, because as the information is flowing, I actually have no idea what is being said. Okay, I'm just sort of like a vessel, right, and the instrument for typing on the keyboard. So once the information from the guide, Abdob, is out into the Word document, then I add my 2 cents worth as well. Okay, so in this case, so what I do is I always tell you what card you've got. So in this case, it's the Hermit. So I tell you it's the Hermit. I tell you what is going on in the cards. In this example, it's a wise man with a light, with a lantern here, and I explain what that card is about and how it relates to the position of the card. Let's just say it's your highest ideals position. Okay, so then I would talk about the Hermit, and I would explain how he relates to your highest ideals. And quite often as I go through, I will also give you anecdotes from my own life where I have experienced something similar to what you've told me in your brain dump, and I will share that with you. So we go through that entire that sequence for the number of cards, be it 3 or 10, and we just keep doing that all the way through to the end until I've run out of cards. And then I go through, like I said, have to do a spell check because I have no idea what has ended up on the pages there, because I don't want to block the flow of information by doing the corrections as I go along. So then I spell check it all, I see what the guides have had to say to you, and then like I said, I save it as a PDF file, and off it goes to you, and it's just like that. And so what you end up getting, just to summarize, is you get your brain dumps so that you can remember, look back a year from now and say, wow, is that what was going on in my life? So you get the brain dump. You get a guide, be it Abdob or whoever you chooses to bring in for the reading. You get their words, highest power words of wisdom, and then you get my explanation of the tarot cards that were turned up, what it means to you, and how you can help you move forward in your life, and my take on things, just from my own life and my own experiences. So I hope that well, that does summarize what I do. I hope that helps you visualize what you're going to get. And you can leave a comment in the section below if you have any more questions. I'd be very happy to answer them. And in another video, I'm going to give you examples of the type of situations that my clients have given me, and that my guides and myself have provided advice on. So that's it. Thank you for lasting the over 11 minutes here as I walk through my process. Gracefully yours, Eliza.